it's an honor and a privilege. Let me start my speech right now. Just give me a minute. We are working with some technical difficulties, but yeah. So, good morning, everyone. Um, well, I personally have always loved speaking words of encouragement. It has been one of my passions, especially today. I consider it a great honor and a privilege to speak to an audience of students from one of the best and prestigious universities in Sri Lanka. So I'm delighted to have you here. And I want to sincerely thank Professor Lasit Gunawardena and Ms. Buddhimala Vettasinghe and everyone for creating such a amazing platform for you and I to meet today. So I believe we have an audience of students today. And let me start with telling you a bit of a story about a girl, a high spirited, adventurous girl in her late teens. Soon after her advanced level exams, she gets a job offer to work for a reputed company as an executive. But in her heart, she desires to pursue her studies. And there she was, at a pivotal point in her life. Should she choose the very good job that's at hand so that she can support her family? Or should she follow the passion in her heart to step into university? With a hopeful heart, she decides to step into university. And finally, her day arrives where she graduates with flying colors. And then she arrives at another junction. Which career path should she take? Which way to go now? She is kind of nervous as well as anxious and excited about what might come next. With the many options in her hand, she makes a courageous move to embrace a role as an engineer in quality engineering. In the coming days, she realizes that decision steered her toward a road with immense possibilities. And that, my dear students, is the story of how I entered the IT industry as a quality engineer. My name is Menaka de Silva, and I have over 13 years of experience as a quality engineer. And I currently work as a quality engineering manager at Wiley. Now that you know me a little better and my story a little better, let me ask you a question. Are you feeling nervous, anxious, but do you also feel excited with a rush of adrenaline when you think of what to choose as your next path? I will tell you now that you're exactly where I was about 13 years ago. I was feeling the same. First and foremost, it's important to talk about what is software quality engineering. I'm sure most of you have heard that term, but you will hear the terms quality engineer, quality assurance engineer, quality engineering professional, or QA in general. All these terms refer to a role in IT industry where their focus is on improving the software development process. This includes activities such as test planning, test designing, assessing risks, execution of tests, reporting and verification of defects as well. You can also write and execute these tests manually or automatically to verify if the software meets the standards and requirements. So that's the role of a quality engineer and the definition of quality engineering in a summary. Let's look at the atmosphere. Let's look at the climate of the IT industry. The IT and BPM industry in Sri Lanka is at its full bloom. If you look at If you look at it, there are over 600 fully operational IT BPM companies in Sri Lanka. The entire IT workforce is close to 124,000 or more in the year 2018. So by now, it must be much more than that. The IT labor force is growing with a 50,000 plus annual additions from wonderful universities like yours. According to the ICTA reports on the services provided by the IT service providers in Sri Lanka, quality engineering falls only second among 14 other services such as software engineering, business analysis, database management, etc. So we are at the top. This shows that there is a massive contribution from the quality engineering services to the total IT BPM industry in Sri Lanka. But there is a 34% composition of the IT workforce in Sri Lanka for from the women sector, which leads me to encourage my dear female students to join the IT workforce in the industry. We need more soldiers in the army. Throughout my experience as a quality engineering professional, I have been supported by both female and male leaders to excel my career. There was no difference. We embraced and respected our differences, and we worked towards delivering the best quality software to the world. I want to invite you, my dear brothers and sisters, to join hands with us to the ample opportunities in the quality engineering field. Now, this period in your life is about learning, isn't it? Exams, um, assignments, tudes, and all sorts of activities. It's about learning, and not only academic, in the sense, not only from a university perspective, even if you search the internet right now on what quality engineering is, you will see ample resources in the internet. So, what must you learn to enter into quality engineering? Are there any specific skills? Are there any specific areas you should focus? You can begin with the basics. It's always good to go to the fundamentals. If your course content includes software engineering or quality assurance basics, understand these concepts seriously and thoroughly. Read about what quality assurance fundamentals are. Apply what you learned in your projects and assignments. That is, putting this into practical use. For example, if you have an assignment to create a web application, you can design the required test cases and execute them. So you will put to use the knowledge you gained about test design in your practical assignment. This will improve your knowledge on test designing as well as produce a quality software. So, two birds with one stone. After a careful study on your basics and attempting to apply them, um, you can get into deeper topics, more serious topics like functional, non functional test methods, agile testing methods, etc. And now there are so many buzzwords like AI based testing, autonomous testing, data driven testing, and test driven development. So you can get into those deeper topics after you get the fundamentals. It's very important to be thorough with your fundamentals. Get familiar with how automated testing helps us. What automated testing does is it helps us to execute our tests faster and more frequently. When you execute something manually, it's going to take a lot of man hours as well as a lot of effort. So look at ways and technologies that they use to automate these things. You can also get connected with quality assurance professionals like myself and many in the industry on professional platforms and discuss about your career path in quality engineering. It's always good to network with industry experts so that you know what the waters you're stepping into. And next, let's take a look at what skills and characteristics you must possess and as well you should develop to excel in this career path. So, different career paths require you to take different characteristics seriously. So, I'm not going to talk about the common characteristics that are needed as you grow. Things like respecting each other and the work ethics and submitting to standards. I'm not going to talk about those common concepts, but let me tell you some key characteristics and qualities you must develop within you if you want to choose a career in quality engineering. First of all, you have to develop your skill to think outside the box. As as students, sometimes you are so prone to stick to the course material, and I'm sure your lecturers and your seniors are pushing you towards doing your personal research and looking elsewhere for knowledge, etc., and also trial and error, things like that. But what I'm saying when I say outside the box is you must think out of the ordinary and have an analytical perspective. It's not a very direct approach, because when you develop something, you know exactly what the outcome should be because you get the requirements either from a customer or from a product manager or someone. So you know the requirement. But a quality engineer should go beyond that. And he or she should think, okay, how can I break this system? Sort of have a destructive mindset. How can I break this? What can go wrong? What are the edge cases? So you should have analytical perspective and develop your analytical thinking abilities. So spend time looking at, uh, like I said, even in your assignments, think about ways that it can go wrong. What are the avenues that less people travel? The next important characteristic is paying attention to detail. So, this is very, very important because the tiniest details that you miss might have a greater impact on the software and the delivery. So, it's the details that really matter. Let me tell you a few real life examples of how critical and important quality assurance is for a software product. I'll take some real life examples that has happened in the world. If you go back in time to the year 1996, on the 4th of June, the Ariane 5 rocket launched by the European Space Agency, it exploded just 40 seconds after its launch from France. The rocket was on its inaugural voyage, the first trip after a decade of development, costing about $8 billion. And the result of this bug was the loss of $370 million. The reason behind its failure was an integer overflow defect, which is a widespread bug in computer programming. You must have heard or you will get to know. In this case, an attempt was made to set a 64-bit number in a 16-bit space. It's a very simple, subtle scenario, but somehow it was missed. So you see the importance of paying close attention to detail. you must develop it. And on another scenario, which is not that um, historic, it happened actually quite recently. It's a famous quality miss. It was reported from YouTube. YouTube's counter used 32-bit integer, which can only contain a 32-bit integer value. It's a unit used to represent data in computer architecture. So this 32-bit integer determines the maximum possible views it could count. So YouTube videos earlier could only go up to what a 32-bit integer can hold. It comes to a really large number. But unfortunately, if you can remember, there was a popular YouTube video and a song on the Gangnam Style. The Gangnam Style video exceeded the maximum value, unfortunately for YouTube. And we got this very famous Gangnam Style YouTube bug. After that, as a result, nowadays YouTube uses a 64-bit integer for its video counter, which means videos have a maximum viewer count of over 9.22 quintillion. That's a really large number. And it's highly unlikely that someone would reach that. Some video would reach that, but you never know. So it's important to pay close attention to detail. On another occasion, if we go back in year 1991, on the 25th of February, there was a fatal mistake. During the Gulf War, a Patriot missile battery in Saudi Arabia failed to trace and intercept an incoming Iraqi Scud missile. The Scud missile hit an American army barrack, killing about 28 soldiers and injuring around another 100 odd people. The problem was an inaccurate calculation of the time since the boot due to computer arithmetic errors. Precisely, the time in tens of seconds, as measured by the system's internal clock, was multiplied by 1/10 to return the time in seconds. It calculated the incorrect time, and the missile failed to intercept the Iraqi Scud missile attack. Again, another rounding error in the system and a fatal mistake. So people's lives are in the hands of the quality engineers. So depending on the software under test, this criticality can change. But at the end of the day, it could lead to irreversible damage. As you can see, a thorough quality assurance process is vital. It's very important to a software product for it to function in its optimal level. Another important quality you should possess is the ability to work as a team. No matter how confident you are on your skill, you need to work as part of the development team. This enables you to learn to negotiate with people, agree and disagree, respect each other and other team members, and also to understand the importance of other roles in your team other than your own role. And you must also be a passionate learner. I think this applies to life in general. So soon after your university, your next learning level could be a postgrad, master's, a PhD. But additional to that, learn continuously. Learn every day something new. What's going on in the world? How can I improve this skill of mine? Not only subject matter, but everyday things that help in life. So you need to be a passionate learner as long as you live. That's what I believe. So keep reading, keep learning, and keep growing. These will propel you to a world of possibilities in the quality engineering industry because every day there are new technologies, new trends, new concepts, and we think of new things to do to improve quality engineering process. So you must keep your eyes and ears open. And something common to all career paths are challenges. There are challenges in the quality engineering path as well. If you thought it's going to be a smooth road, it's not. But as the saying goes, rough roads lead to beautiful destinations. Am I right? If you have purposed in your heart to follow a career in quality engineering and take that bold step after you graduate, then that's the first step. That's the first challenge you have overcome. Then comes the challenge of choosing the right workplace that supports you to learn and provide you with a platform to grow. Or you might want to start your own tech company or join a new startup. Either way, first do the necessary research and consider your options. As you step into the industry, you will hear all the trending buzzwords in quality. Like I said, it might feel a little overwhelming in the start. Am I ready? Am I on the right track? Can I do this? It's too difficult. It requires a lot of coding, and I'm not that smart to do that. So it might feel a little overwhelming. It's common to every one of us. I felt the same because university course content might not be able to cover everything. So, like I said, you have to keep on learning and thinking outside the box. But if you keep your focus on the path, your eyes on the road, and continue to learn and apply your knowledge, then you can overcome that challenge. You will learn about industry standards, working with people from various backgrounds, and how to face adversity with your head held high. So it's more like an institution, again, to learn. Just because you left university doesn't mean the learning is over, doesn't mean it's going to be a smooth sail. So you have to be courageous in the face of adversity. Make positive relationships and friendships with people who can support you on your journey. It's very important. Have wisdom when you are choosing these relationships, especially when you step into the industry. These people need to share a similar vision as you, and they should push you to the right track. Be aware and choose correctly and wisely. The friendships that I have made during my industry journey, they are worth more than I can express. And the knowledge and the value of these friendships are immeasurable. The important thing to remember is that you keep thriving ahead amidst those challenges. Finally, my dear brothers and sisters, I hope I planted a little seed in your heart. I hope it will grow as a desire towards entering the IT industry as a quality engineering professional. I'm hoping to cross your path on such a day. Until then, keep learning and keep growing. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much indeed, Ms. Menaka, for your informative session. Your presence and wise word help us to rethink on quality engineering domain in the best possible way. Many thanks from all of us, my dear friends. Hope you'll got plenty of knowledge from this valuable presentation. If you have any questions, you can ask now.
Iranta, I believe I was super clear, and therefore no questions needed. But yes, please
Uh,
post your questions if you have any. Yeah.
Madam, we got one question. Is there any professional exams related to QA career that we can grow in the professional aspect?
Yeah, there are many. That's a very good question. So now that you have gathered your the necessary knowledge from university, the basics, there are examination bodies, international bodies like ISTQB. Uh, and in Sri Lanka, there is a standard body called SLSTB, Sri Lanka Software Testing Board. So they provide a wide variety of exams and certifications for you to get a step ahead. They have a starting program called the CTFL, that is the Certified Tester Foundation level. That's actually a very good stepping stone for you to get to know the basics and the fundamentals in quality assurance. That's a good start. And then you can go up the ladder onto CTAL, that is Certified Tester Advanced level, and then on agile testing, on other types of testing like performance and security, application security. So there are so many avenues you can take in that uh, examination or certifications, but you can start with the CTFL, Certified Tester Foundation level. And additional to that, when it comes to professional learning, there are different tracks. For example, there are free courses like Udemy or on LinkedIn Learning. And so that actually propels you to get more knowledge on quality engineering in general. And then there are specific professional learning. For example, if you're interested in knowing what performance testing is, there are performance testing specific professional courses. Even from SLSTB, there are performance testing specific courses. Yeah, so a highly recognized certification in Sri Lanka would be the SLSTB, CTFL, and CTAL courses as of now. So that's a good stepping stone for you.
All right, seems like there is no any other questions. Thank you, Ms. Menaka, again for your ideas and thoughts. This is a valuable session for us as an undergraduates. We would like to wish you the prosper and grateful ahead in your life. Now it's time to take our group photo. Please make sure that you have turned on your camera, please. All right, thank you very much.
Then morning all. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Hiranta. So, and thank you, Menaka, to you are nicely explained and good to share your experience. So before start my session, thank you, Dr. Lasid Gunawardana and Ms. Tamali to invite me and invite this session. So I think this session is very valuable. Our final year students to build up their career field. Okay, then let's start my today's session. I just create very small PowerPoint. I will share my screen and conduct my session. Okay, then can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then career path for software quality assurance. I am Sanjaya Ruwan, currently work as a QA engineer from Omnilytics. Okay, then let's go on to today small content. How to find a good internship and top 5 skills employees want to and become a QA intern, and which QA areas you should be covered, and top website to learn QA, and QA internship offer in companies in Sri Lanka, and vacancies eligible some sources nowadays. Okay, then first one is how to find a good internship. So in this slide, I make that not only for the QA. So if you like to go to that software engineering, project management, business analyst, ERP consultant, network, DevOps intern, so whatever things, you can go through these steps. So actually, these steps are followed by me in my third year and last year, find a good internship. So first, select your career site, select your suitable career site. So in my experience, third year second sem වෙනකොට මම සිලෙක්ට් කරගත්ත මගේ career site එක QA side එකෙන් යන්න ඕනි කියලා. මොකද එතනදී අපිට third year second sem එකේ තමයි software quality assurance subject එක තිබ්බේ. එතකොට තව programming database ඒවත් තිබ්බා. ඊට අමතරව දැන් අපිට ගන්නද්දී කියන්නේ QA subject එකට interest එක උනේ manual as well as automation දෙකම both තිබ්බා. එතකොට එතනදී සමහර industry එකෙන් ඇවිල්ලා අපිට සමහර sessions තිබ්බා. එතකොට අර ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ දේවල් එක්ක කියන්නේ මොඩි ඉන්ටරෙස්ටිං එකක් වුණා. ඊට පස්සේ ඇත්තටම ඒ ගැන පොඩක් රිසර්ච් කරන්න ගත්තා. මොනවද තියෙන opportunities, මොනවද ඒ position එකට දෙන offer කරන companies, ඒ වගේ දේවල්. Okay, then ඕගොල්ලන්ටත් මේ කියන්නේ දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ සිලෙක්ට් කරගෙන නැත්නම් ඕගොල්ලෝ career side එක දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ දැන් මේ වෙනකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ career side එක select කරගන්න. මම මොන area එකෙන්ද ඉස්සරහට මම යන්න ඕනේ කියන්නේ. Right? Then study that specific area. So after select your career site, you can search, study. So I think LinkedIn is the best social media platform to find out your career path, because there are thousands of millions of IT professionals are in that LinkedIn. So they are sharing their thoughts, their videos, their articles, they are from professionalism activities. So you can refer the LinkedIn and find out more information, your career site. And YouTube. YouTube, there are so many thousand millions of tutorials. You can visible YouTube. And finally Google. So everything has a Google today. So you can search your career site details and some websites. You can refer your all of the information. I know that when you are doing that your assignment or something, you are searching the Google and get information. Likewise, මේ platform වලින් ඕගොල්ලන්ට ඇත්තටම ලොකු informations ටිකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. And you can ask from your lecturers and some senior guys and some industrial people. ඒගගේ කට්ටියකිනුත් ඕගොල්ලන්ට පුළුවන් ideas අරගෙන කොහොමද මම මේ side එකෙන් ගියොත් මට කොහොමද මොන වගේ opportunities හම්බෙනවද, ඒ වගේම ඕගොල්ලන්ට salaries ගැනත් ඒගොල්ලෝ consider කරනවා නම් ඒ ගැනත් අහගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේ informations ඕගොල්ලෝ gather කරගන්න. එතනද මොකද internship එකෙන් තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ ඉස්සරහට කියන්නේ internship එකත් through තමයි ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ඉස්සරහට career එක build up වෙන්නේ. ඒක නිසා තමයි මෙතනදී ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ career path එක select කරගැනීමේ වැදගත්කම. After that, create a good resume. I think so final year students already created the good resume. ඔගොල්ලෝ හදන්න, ඔගොල්ලෝ හොඳ CV එකක් හදන්න. ඔගොල්ලන්ගේ photos දාලා, ඔගොල්ලන්ගේ activities දාලා, එතකොට degree details දාලා, ඔයගේ details දාලා normally 2 pages වෙන්න colorful attractiveness හොඳ CV එකක් හදන්න. එතකම ඔන්න cover letter එකක් හදලා තියාගන්න. ඒකත් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට important වෙනවා. එහෙම හදන්න. ඊට පස්සේ apply for internship opportunities. So after that ogolange contacts තියෙනවා නම් යාළුවෝ හරහා එහෙම එතකොට යුනිවර්සිටි එක through එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ අපේ යුනිවර්සිටි එකේ තියෙනවා මේ job fair ඒ through ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පුළුවන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ select කරගත්ත internships එක ඒ අදාළ career side එකට අදාළව ඔයගොල්ලන්ට apply කරන්න right ඒක ඒ steps තමයි මමත් follow කරේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ටත් suitable වෙයි කියලා හිතලා මම මේ ටික add කරා okay, then let's go on to another slide. Top 5 skills employees want to in a QA interns. So this skills I think important, but don't worry, don't be hesitate and panic. I don't have this kind of skills, but I know you can fulfill, you can achieve this kind of skills. So the first one is communication skill. So mama dannawa දැන් මමත් දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ වගේම third year එතකොට final year වෙනකොට දැන් අනිවාර්යෙන්ම අපි intern යන්න ඕනේ එතකොට එතනදී කියන්නේ intern එක හොඳ intern එකක් හොයාගන්න ඕනේ එතනදී සමහරලාට ගොඩක්ම panic වෙන දෙයක් තමයි මේ communication පැත්තදී දැන් අපි university එකේ culture එක company එකට ගියහම culture එකයි දෙකක් එතකොට එතනදී කොහොමද අපි කට්ටිය එක්ක කියන්නේ communicate කරන්නේ English must වෙයිද එතකොට deeply grammatically ඕන වෙයිද deeply spoken English ඕන වෙයිද ඒ වගේ ඕගොල්ලන්ට issues එන්න පුළුවන් but I think don't be hesitate don't be panic then you can achieve this because then it's different sometimes it's depends on the some companies so some of the companies supposed to learn and communication some companies support for you so I think some සමහර companies support කරනවා ඔයගලන්ට සමහර events වලින් ඒ වගේ event එතකොට සමහර company just interview විතරයි english වලින් තියෙන ඊට පස්සේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ conduct කරන් යන තියෙන්නේ සිංහල වලින් but කියන්නේ ඔක්කොම කියන්නේ better to learn in english කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඒක අතාරින්න එපා ඔයගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ english day by day practice කරන්න එතකොට communicate කරන්න ඕගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ join වුණාට පස්සේ කට්ටිය එක්ක english වලින් කතා කරන්න ගන්න. එතකොට ඕගොල්ලන්ට ඒක automatically practice වෙලා ඕගොල්ලන්ට automatically ඒක build up වෙනවා. එතකොට ඒ ගැන එච්චර panic වෙන්න එපා. ඒක ඕගොල්ලන්ට අනිවාර්යෙන් achieve කරගන්න පුළුවන් skill එක. Then is interpersonal skill. So I think then interpersonal skill එක ඕගොල්ලන්ට automatically build up වෙනවා මේ අපේ degree එකත් එක්ක අපේ තියෙන subjects assignments එක්ක එතකොට ඒක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම කට්ටිය එක කොහොමද work කරන්න ඕනේ කොහොමද communicate කරන්න ඕනේ flexibility එක කොහොමද attitudes කොහොමද build up කරගන්න ඕනේ කියන දේවල් අනිවාර්යෙන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට අපේ degree එකත් එක්ක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඒක automatically build up වෙනවා then another one is critical thinking so that's the another important skill when you are joining as a QA intern because in our QA side we need to build up the different test scenarios so we have check on that not only for the happy scenario we have to select on the negative scenario as well එතකොට අපිට දැන් login functionality එකක් ගත්තත් we have to create multiple test cases එතකොට එතනදී අපිට හිතන්න ඕනේ මේ mind එක use කරලා අපිට මෙහෙම ලිව්වොත් අගෙන අපි try කරන්නේ break the system we are the bug hunters එතකොට එතනදී අපිට ඕන වෙනවා මේ critical thinking කියන skill එක එතකොට ඕගොල්ලන්ට මේ අපේ subjects එක එතකොට සමහර IQ questions ඒවා refer කරලා නම් ඕගොල්ලන්ට එතකොට YouTube tutorials follow up කරලා නම් ඕගොල්ලන්ට අනිවාර්යෙන් පුළුවන් මේ critical thinking skill එක build up කරගන්න right then research and analysis skill so in here so most of the company so when you are joining that as a QA intern they support to learn for you then they are share with different kind of KTs and they are paid for some conduct some courses ඒක වගේ support එකක් දෙනවා right එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට තියෙන්නේ දැන් සමහර companies depends on the company සමහර companies fully support කරනවා අඩු වෙනවා එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම research part එක ඇත්තටම important. මෙතන research කියලා මම mean කරන්නේ අර අපි කරන මේ research නෙමෙයි අර university එකේ. මෙතන research කියන්නේ refer the Google and find out the points and find out the correct solution. හරි ඔයගොල්ලන්ට issue එකක් හම්බ වෙනවා මොකක් හරි දෙයක් ගැන. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඒක කොහොමද solve කරන්නේ? හරිද? එතකොට මේ හැමදේම ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ඔළුවේ තියන් ඉන්න බෑනේ. දැන් example එකක් ගත්තොත් දැන් delete query එකක් ඕනේ දැනගන්න වෙනවා අපිට database වල. හරි? එතකොට දැන් ඕක ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ඔළුවේ නැහැ. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ මොකද කරන්නේ? ඒක type නොකර ඉන්නවද මොකද කරන්නේ? එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ එතනදී ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඕන වෙනවා research කරන්න. ඔයගොල්ලෝ type the Google. ඒ කියන්නේ Google search කරන්න නැත්නම් YouTube prefer කරන්න. ඔයගොල්ලෝ ගන්න code එක ඊට පස්සේ apply කරන්න. එතකොට ඒක තමයි අත්‍තරම මේ අපේ කියන්නේ software engineering එතකොට මේ ගොඩක් මේ sites වල තියෙන ඔය දේ තමයි. මොකද කවුරුත් developers ලා කවුරුනත් ඒගොල්ලොන්ගේ ඔළුවේ නැහැ මේ ඔක්කොම codes කොහොමද මේවා මේ ගහන්න ඕනි කියන එක. කොහොමද apply කරන්න ඕනි. ඒගොල්ලොත් කරන්නේ research කරන එක. ඒගොල්ලොත් කරන්නේ analyze කරලා ඒ solution එක එතනට apply කරන එක. එතකොට අන්න ඒ skill එක ඔයගොල්ලෝ build up කරගන්න. ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ projects තියෙනවා final year ඒ projects වලදී ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මේ skill එක build up කරගන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Finally, the technical proficiency. So technical skill. That's another important thing because you are find out a bug. So then if you can identify the root cause of this bug, how to recreate this issue. එතකොට coding level එකකින් ඔයගලන්ට පුළුවන් නම් මේ issue එක identify කරගන්න. ඊට පස්සේ steps මේවා තමයි steps මේ issues එන්නේ. එතකොට ඒ වගේ technically proficiency එකක් තියෙන එක very important. And so if you can set up some different environment, different softwares, then different some path. So if you can install and set up those things without any support, that's very important for you. කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ටත් ඒ වගේ දේවල් install කරගන්න පුළුවන් නම් තනියම ඒ වගේ technical proficiency එක තියෙනවා නම් ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ career එක ඇත්තටම build up වෙනවා automatically. මොකද because කියන්නේ අපේ මේ QA side එකේ there are so many tools and technologies. එතකොට කියන්නේ integrate කරන part එතකොට automation side එකට ඔයගොල්ලෝ යනවා නම් shift වෙනවා නම් එතනදී you have so many tools. So ඒකතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පුළුවන් නම් ඒව path හදාගෙන build up කරලා ඒ ඔක්කොම කරගන්න ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ කියන්නේ තනියම ඕගොල්ලන්ට එතනද ඒගොල්ලෝ බලන්නේ එහෙමයි කියන්නේ without any help ඕගොල්ලන්ට ඒව කරගන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඕගොල්ලන්ට ලොකු exposure එකක් එනවා. එතකොට මේ වගේ skills ඕගොල්ලෝ මේ ටිකේ සහ ඉස්සරහට refer කරන්න skill build up කරගන්න බලන්න. Okay, then QA areas you should be covered as an intern. Okay, so mainly we have different aspect of that testing like manual testing, automation testing, performance testing, mobile app testing, security testing, these kind of things, right? So when you join as a QA intern, I think mainly you are focusing on this manual testing and automation testing. So I mang hima kiyanne other industry gathama most of the companies මේ manual as well as automation testing base කරන් තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ testing conduct කරන්නේ. හරි. එතකොට automation testing day by day developing and ඒගොල්ලන්ට හොඳ opportunities තියෙනවා. කියන්නේ ඇත්තට මේක company යට benefit එකක් වෙනවා. ඒක නිසා most of the companies තියෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ manual testing and automation testing කියන positions. එතකොට ඕගොල්ලෝ when you join as a QA intern you can fulfill these two. කියන්නේ මේක කොහොම හරි ඔයගලන්ට achieve කරගන්න පුළුවන් නම් මේ දෙක මේ වගේ internship එකේදී ඒක ඇත්තටම really advantage your future career. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ වෙන කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ internship 6 month or 1 year time එකේදී ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ ටික cover කරගත්තොත් actually performance ඒකට mobile security ඒවත් ඔයගොල්ලොන්ට කරගන්න දෙනවා. That's a very best, but at least manual and automation කරගත්ත තිබ්බනම් ඔයගලන්ට ඇත්තරම ඒක really advantage එකක් වෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ ඔයගලන්ට focus කරන් යන්න පුළුවන් performance testing, mobile apps testing, ඒක mobile apps වෙනම side එකක්. එතකොට ඒ වගේ දේවල් security testing වගේ දේවල් වලට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට focus කරගෙන ඉස්සරහට ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ career එක build up කරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන්. Next one, top website to learn QA. I just put in that just website. So if you're interested, you can note down. So in here mention that Guru 99. I think this site is very best site for learn QA because they are input there some descriptions and some examples, some pictures. So these are very, very simple and you can understand clearly. I can recommend that really, that Guru 99. එතකොට අනිත් ඒවා test bite ඊට tutorials point යාම ඔයගලන්ට you can learn another database and other languages, programming languages. මේ overall මේ ඔක්කොම දේවල් උනත් ඔයගලන්ට මේවෙන් ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට QA උනත් ඔයගලන්ට software testing and other aspects, other tutorials ඔයගලන්ට learn කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට පස්සේ software testing help ඒක overall specific site software testers ලට QA engineers ලට. එතකොට Java T point ඒකත් programming languages and other database ඒවත් එක්ක base වුණ site එකක්. එතකොට මේ this kind of website really help for you to learn QA. Okay, then QA internship offering company in currently Sri Lanka. So we have in Sri Lanka has so many companies offering that QA intern and QA engineer position, lead and others. But just these are the main companies. Just I think in here has at least 15 or 16 companies. So there are these are the company Virtusa, Cisco Labs, Pearson, Zone 24/7, 99X Technologies, Millennium IT, IFS, LSCG. Then මේ වගේ මේ companies සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අර giants company in Sri Lanka එහෙම ගත්ත නිකන් companies නැත්නම් තව මේ වගේම companies තියෙනවා ගොඩක්. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝට මේ වගේ normally exposure හොඳ exposure එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්, හොඳ career advantage එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන් මේ වගේ company එකකට මුලින්ම join වෙන්න පුළුවන් නම් as a intern. try කරලා බලන්න. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම පුළුවන් හොඳ opportunity එකක් ගන්න. Okay, then let's move on to that vacancies, eligible sources. So I think the main source of that in Sri Lanka, topjobs.lk. මේකේ තමයි කියන්නේ ගොඩක්ම opportunities ගන්න පුළුවන් ගොඩක් vacancies eligible කරලා තියෙන site එකක් විදිහට topjobs.lk and linkedin.com jobs site. මම ඇත්තටම මේ apply කරද්දි මම දැන් මේ මම work කරලා ඉන්න companies එක්ක බලනකොට ගොඩක්ම මට opportunity එකක් උනේ and ගොඩක් vacancies වලට apply කරලා select උනේ මම work කරපු companies වල මේ LinkedIn එක through. Actually so LinkedIn is very, very best social media platform. ඒක හදලා තියෙන්නම අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මේ අපේ කියන්නේ professional කට්ටියටම තමයි. ඒක නිසා ඔයගොල්ලෝ මම කියන්නේ Facebook එතකොට දැන් මේ දවස්වල Facebook වල ගොඩක් කට්ටිය ඉන්නවා මේ තියෙන situations එක්ක. හැබැයි Facebook එතකොට අනිත් Instagram WhatsApp දැන් ඒ වගේ තියෙන social media වලට refer කරනට වඩා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ලොකු time එකක් මේ LinkedIn එකේ පොඩ්ඩක් use කරගන්න පුළුවන් නම් එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කියන්නේ ඇත්තටම හොඳ idea එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන් මේ industry ගැන. jobs හොදා ගන්න පුළුවන්, ඒවට apply කරන්න පුළුවන්, ඒ details ගන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට if you don't have any LinkedIn account, please create LinkedIn account, right? ඒක අනිවාර්යයි තියෙන්න ඕන එකක්. ඔයගොල්ලෝ හදලා නැති අය, හදපු අය ඒක ඒ විදිහට refer කරන්න, job search කරන්න, ඔයගොල්ලෝ select කරගත්ත career field එකේ ඉන්න professionals ලට ඔයගොල්ලෝ connection එකක් යවන්න. ඒ වගේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ connection එක build up කරගන්න. If you like send me in connection මම ඉන්නවා සංජය රුවන් කියලා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ බලන්න සමහර මම ලියපු articles තියෙනවා QA site එක ගැන. ඔයගලන්ට refer කරන්න පුළුවන් ගිහිල්ලා article section එකේ my profile එකේ right then ඔයගලන්ට another vacancy eligible sources is company career pages. So example of virtusa.com careers pages, you can go through it. Not only for the virtusa then Cisco lab ගත්තත් zone 24 ගත්තත් 99x ගත්තත් මේගොල්ලන්ගේ career page එකට ගියාට පස්සේ ඒගොල්ලෝ දාලා තිනවා මේ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ මොනවද eligible vacancies කියලා. ඒතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඒක through ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පුළුවන් ගිහිල්ලා apply කරන්න ඒ තියෙන vacancy එකට, right? And express jobs job එක.lk. එතකොට මේ වගේ site වලිනුත් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පුළුවන් refer කරලා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ගන්න කියන්නේ opportunities ගන්න. එතකොට මේවා තමයි sources. එතකොට මට දැන් මේ ඉන්න ගමන් ටිකක් මතක් වුණේ දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැන් මගේ මේ experience එකත් එක්කනේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මේ ඇත්තටම share කරන්න ඕනේ. දැන් sometime you don't have කියන්නේ හොඳ GP එකක් නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන් මේ වෙනකොට. එතකොට class එකක් miss වෙන්න පුළුවන් නංගිලා. ඒක ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඇත්තටම ඒක ගැන හිතන්න එපා. Don't worry, right? ඒ කියන්නේ ඇත්තටම ඒ කියන්නේ එහෙම class එකක් තියෙනවා නම් GP එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒක that's very good and important, but if you don't have ඔයගොල්ලන් නැත්තම් එහෙම ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඒක ගැන worry වෙවි හිතන්න එපා. අනිවාර්යෙන්ම කියන්නේ industry එකට apply කරාම ඔයගොල්ලෝගෙන් ලොකුවට ඒගොල්ලෝ care කරන්නේ නැහැ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ class එක ඕ GP එක whatever. ඔයගොල්ලෝ බලන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගෙන් ඔයාගේ skill එක කොහමද? ඔයාගේ කියන්නේ ඔයාගේ practical knowledge කොහමද තියෙන්නේ? ඔයා communicate කරන්නේ කොහමද? ඔයාගේ attitudes කොහමද කියන එක. කියන්නේ actually කියන්නේ ඔයා file එකක් අරන් ගියත් file එකේ කිසිම දෙයක් බලන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයගොල්ලොත් එක්ක communicate කරලා ඔයාව ඒගොල්ලෝ කෙලින්ම filter කරන්නේ ඔයාගේ ඒ තියෙන communication එකත් එක්ක ඔයාගේ තියෙන කියන්නේ practices ඒවත් එක්ක. ඉතින් ඒක නිසා good luck all of you. අනිවාර්යෙන් ඔයගලන්ට achieve කරගන්න පුළුවන් ඔයගලන්ගේ career එක future එක. Okay, then thank you all of you. Any questions? කියන්නේ ඔයගලන්ට සිංහලෙන් උනත් අහන්න කිසි issue එකක් නැහැ. English වලින් හරි. ඔයගලන්ට තියෙනවා නම් any issue.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sanjaya, for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. We always love to hear from our proud alumni. Now it's time for Q&A session. If you have any question, please ask from them.
So this time was actually given for everyone to ask questions, and I thank you, Sanjay, for the detailed presentation. But unfortunately, our final year students are not still asking questions, which is unfortunate. Anyone?
Yes, sir. I have a question. Like, how the automation affect the QA job?
Yes, actually, good question. So nowadays the industry's automation side day by day increasing. There are so a lot of job vacancies open for the QA automation engineers. So that's why in my slide also I mentioned that mainly you are focusing when you are joined as a QA engineer, QA intern, manual testing as well as automation testing. So there are a lot of tutorials in the YouTube. Then type the YouTube test automation and you can learn you can see a lot of tutorials, and the main best automation tool is Selenium. So learn Selenium with Java or with Python. So you can get good knowledge, and refer the Guru 99 and other I have shared website. So where that's automation side is very important, your job and your career side. I think clear.
Yeah,
your
thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Any question? Any other?
So Sanjay, I just like to ask some question. Maybe it might help the others.
Yes,
Can you share, like, when you are doing the university degree, like, now you are into QA. So at which point you decided? Did you do anything else? Like, did you study anything, like any other set? By the time you applied for internship, what were the things that you did in addition to the studies?
yeah,
Anything?
in addition, yes, mainly I go through that YouTube and other LinkedIn sources, and I did some one small course. It's a test automation framework course that conducted by UCSC. I think that course is not for now, they are not conducting, so that's why I didn't mention that. By the way, so you don't need to go through what other courses or something. YouTube and Google has everything. So if you can follow out good tutorial like Selenium and others, so you can get the good knowledge. And so then another experience of that ISTQB examination is another good, I think the Menaka also said, share with you. But so my recommended, if you can do that ISTQB when you are build up your experience after at least 1 year, so that's good for you. Yes, sir.
And maybe is there any suggestion of, in terms of, now our students have, some of them are in terms of the programming language, I think you mentioned about the analytical skill.
Yeah.
Anything to comment on the programming language skill? What anything that now, for example, I believe to become a successful QA, now there are some students, as you know, who come into our program who are not very keen on programming languages.
Yes.
For some reason or other.
Yes.
So what is your opinion on, to become a QA, what is the relationship between your interest of programming? You need not be expert, but just share your thoughts, I thought.
Yes, that's very important question. So when you are doing that manual testing, you don't need too much programming knowledge, programming language or whatever. But when you are go to that automation testing, you have to learn some part of that programming languages. So better to learn Java and Python. එකනේ එකක් උනත් build up කරගත්තට issue එකක් නැහැ. Again Selenium එක යන්න පුළුවන් නම් Javaත් එක්ක Python එක. Python is easy than the Java. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට දැන් language එකේ කොච්චර deeply යන්න ඕනේද කියලා කිව්වොත් software engineer ගත්තොත් ඒගොල්ලන්ට coding පැත්ත ඒගොල්ලෝ යන්න බෑ. ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ coding එකමනේ. But ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැන් automation testing කරනවා නම් you don't need to go through that deeply, that programming side. Then basic side එකෙන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පුළුවන් ඇත්තටම මේක manage කරගන්න with some OOP concepts තියනේ. ඒවත් එක්ක ඒ ටිකයි basic part ටික ඔයගොල්ලෝ study කරා නම් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පුළුවන් මේ automation side එකත් achieve කරගන්න. ඒක තමයි එතන තියෙන automation වල advantage එක, අර coding side එකත් යන හින්දා. But you don't need to much refer that as a software engineer. ඒක තමයි අර මම කිව්වේ එතනට යනවට වඩා එතන කියන්නේ coding අර set වෙන්නේ නැති කියන කට්ටියට QA වල මේ automation පැත්ත build up කරන් යන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට අපේ යුනිවර්සිටි එකේ තියෙන subjects ගණන ඒ scope එකකින් උනත් ඕගලන්ට තව පොඩ්ඩක් prefer කරලා ඕගලන්ට පුළුවන් මේ automation side එක capture කරගන්න. එතකොට code නැතුව යනවා නම් ඕගලන්ට manual පැත්තට යන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඕගලන්ගේ අර code එක යනවා නම් දෙකම hybrid විදියට යනවා නම් manual as well as automation ඒක ඇත්තටම ඕගලන්ට very advantage for you.